Populist envy has no place in our society. The central question of today's debate which revolves around which economic mechanism serves as a better engine for maximizing human potential and reducing inequality. Side opposition stood for sating populist envy through maximum income, while we, the opposition, believed in more intelligent models of taxation such as sales taxes and progressive taxes, which saw great success as Sweden and Norway that Vedant already told you, which they haven't dealt with. Now let's first take a walk through the world of the proposition. Now this was a world that set highest aspirations for itself, but never had the mechanism to actualize their principles as we've already shown you through our speakers. We told you that the core failure of this model stems from people not wanting to work harder than they had to, thus adjusting their work helping them incomes close to or at the cap. And well, the fact is 0.01% isn't really a huge population tax, so they can't get it. They can't get much revenue from this. Crucially, this deters the powers of ambition that create innovation and stops development, ladies and gentlemen. Their world is a world in which the only rich people are those on Wall Street. When they forgot that was completely rare and anomaly only due to the way the government handled the situation. So they shadowboxed a flawed characterization of the rich, saying that they were mean and pictured them like scheming criminals instead of the true innovators that they really are, instead of the people that did help society, which Vedant mentioned, which they also never got back to, ladies and gentlemen. Now, ladies and gentlemen, so we take it as fundamental concession on their side because they dropped our substantive on how these people actually help our economy grow more. Under the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, for example, a huge number of vaccinations were made available in developing countries. But this is a sign that stands for undercutting the resource that makes it possible while purporting that they benefit society. By excessively penalizing the people for their actions, they put a cap on the growth of capital-intensive industries such as advanced medicine that leads to the creation of the artificial heart, for example, that today saves the lives of every income level. Now, make no mistake, ladies and gentlemen, this is not only a cap on income, but a cap on human welfare, human development, and human potential. Ladies and gentlemen, Opp instead for the world of opposition, which was a world that believed in equal opportunities, but not equal income, as we've already told you. It was a world that celebrated the work of the diligent, the capable, and allowed you to keep those rewards, because you earned it, thereby challenging people to continuously keep innovating and keep growing, balancing equality and growth with great success. Yes, we do tax people, and for every dollar that you earn, we do believe that you give a portion back to society. But at the end of the day, Bill Gates has more money to invest in all these companies. He has a larger sum to invest in them under our world than theirs. More importantly, we harness a degree of inequality that is not so soul-crushing as to decimate the poor, but is high enough to motivate their own independence while powering our own progressive taxation systems, ladies and gentlemen. People are free to pursue certain liberties on our side. Ladies and gentlemen, because populist envy has no place in our society, and our side is the one that truly champions human achievement, go with the opposition today. Thank you.
We do not hide behind bankers, but we think that we are standing against obscene wealth. On the side of SJI, we have a government that panders to the rich simply because they invest in the medical industry. We think that on their side, they entrench the privileged position and allow these rich people to enrich themselves with the systemic subjugation of the majority. We think that this is something we cannot stand for. So three main clashes for today. Firstly, why now? Secondly, who has a better principle? And thirdly, who brings about greater practical harm and benefit, right? So the entire idea of social urgency. We started off by telling you why we must act now. This is something we have never dealt with. We give you the context of how we are living in an era where humanity faces an unparalleled income inequality. Meaning that when the American middle class has transformed into a mortgage-paying class, while the top 0.01% being in gold, where the political agendas of the government are now monopolized and the Occupy Wall Street as such gain traction because the majority of the other people are disillusioned by the concept of capitalism. Because the American dream has become so unattainable and enjoyed only by a select few. This is the context and the urgent problem which we presented, and to us the answer with progressive tax is enough. We told you that this is not enough simply because of the obscene wealth accumulation that exists, and we must call for drastic measures in drastic times. And as such, we think we take this part, right? So on the entire idea of principle, right, the opposition tried to say that the rich value add to society, right? We recognize that, a certain portion of people do benefit society, such as the entrepreneurs who create jobs. But what we said, right, that firstly, we're not against these people, but we think that ultimately the obscene wealth that they accumulate is something we cannot stand for. We think that they are bringing about marginal punishment for a great societal benefit. This is something they have never dealt with. We think that ultimately we have to recognize that the principles which the side opposition is infringing on is much greater. And we think that if we punish these entrepreneurs a little bit, it is okay. It is something that side opposition can stand for. They never engaged on us in our principle, which we followed, on how the capitalism, unfettered capitalism, is bad. Simply because it infringes on the idea of how these people are not going to be able to gain this wealth because it's unattainable. We think that it is no longer how wealth is no longer proportional because we see that Joe the plumber works 1,000 times harder. Even if he does that, he's not going to earn $36 million as compared to someone working in a bank, right? Even the systemic subjugation that exists in status quo is enough to warrant such drastic actions, right? We think that ultimately we have never dealt with our principle. Then let's move on to the idea of practical benefit and practical harm. Right? They talk to us about how on our side there's going to be great loss in foreign direct investment, to which we told you that they do not understand the nature of investment because there's so many other factors that are accumulated. We forwarded to you that ultimately on their side, the harm is so much greater because they undermine democracy. Because we are the side that understands that democracy and capitalism must exist together and not in isolation. Walk on the side of